got my iced coffee, and I am ready to dive into my complete art journey. I'm going to take you back to when I first started my journey and all the ups and downs until today. We're almost into the new year and it's really got me thinking about my journey, and I just got really inspired to film this video. So I hope that this inspires you maybe. Grab your favourite drink and let's jump into it. As I was trying to look back through my journey, I noticed I had written down like the bullet points of my journey. So I printed it out and then I added on from 2021 because that's where I obviously stopped updating it. And don't worry, I'm going to keep this kind of short and sweet. I'm not going to like bore you all, hopefully. So in 2017, in December, I moved from the UK to Australia. At this time, I was aged 29. Going into 2018, I realised that I didn't really have a career path, so I decided to do an online graphics design course. By the end of the year, I found a surface pattern design class on Skillshare whilst I was learning all the graphics stuff. So I decided to click on it, and that's basically what opened the world of making money with your art and drawing for a living. So by January 2019, I turned my Instagram that I had already for the web design and graphics, I turned that into like a drawing account. And I started posting drawings every single day. That was my goal. I started off with watercolour and pencils and tried a lot of different things really, and did a bit of digital art on a Photoshop, which was really bad. But by June of that year is when I got the iPad 6th generation for Christmas. No wait, for my birthday I mean. Christmas is in June. So then I learned how to use Procreate, and I was kind of mixing the two, doing watercolour, pencils and Procreate drawings. Just keeping on practicing. I was doing a lot of learning this year, so I was finding loads of artists, I was taking loads of courses, and yeah, just learning a lot. I did finish my graphic design course in August of that year as well. I had my first ever portrait commission in September, and also in that month I got my first website commission for a small like online boutique clothing brand. And then in October I got my first ever children's book illustration, which was actually on Upwork at the time. I did join that back then, so I got it through there. It wasn't really paid that high, but at that time, for me, that was like amazing. This is the book that I did. So it was like really bad back then. My artwork was very, like, I had hardly practiced with digital art back then, so it wasn't like the best. So going into 2020 now, so I opened up a Patreon account in April, which was like a membership platform where people can pay like a certain membership price for different rewards that you get, if you're not sure what it is. And then around June time was when I started actually doing a lot of commission work. And I don't know if this was to do with COVID, but I remember I got so many messages, mostly through Instagram, just asking me to do commissions. I remember having to like write these all out in my diary to try and stay organised with it all, because there was just so many. I think it kept me going for the next 2 to 3 months, and then it really just died down. So I have a feeling it was something to do with the COVID maybe. And I'm pretty sure it was this year that I actually got another children's book. I had a couple of children's books coming in, but I can't remember the exact dates. But they were like from self-publishers. So I launched my Etsy shop at the end of June, where I sold prints and stickers. I hit 10k on Instagram on the 27th of June. I actually put the actual date here. And then I hit 20k followers, by the way, on the 22nd of September. And I remember that was a really big milestone. I got to nearly 30k at one point, and then it never actually got to 30k. And I remember from that moment on, it just went down, down and down and down. I think I'm at like, do you know what am I at? I'm at like 24k followers on Instagram. So you can see I've lost a lot of followers over the time, but I think that was at the point when Instagram started changing a little bit and I wasn't feeling like I was getting as good engagement anymore. And then in December I decided to close Patreon. I remember it didn't really make much money and there was a lot of work to put in, so I decided to close it. So rolling into 2021 then, I uploaded my first ever Skillshare class, which is an online learning platform for creatives who want to learn, you know, anything from drawing, graphics design, crafts and productivity and all that. And that was like how to draw a female character on Procreate. I then reopened up my Patreon in March. I obviously missed it too much. I really enjoyed it, and it was really hard because like it wasn't really making that much money because I didn't get that many people join, and I guess I never promoted it that much either. So yeah, anyway, I opened that again. I actually got 72 sales by this year. I'm not sure the exact day, but I got them 72 sales on Etsy. And I got 100 students on my Skillshare class, which was pretty cool. And this was the year I actually got the Cricut machine for Christmas, which is the Explore Air 2 one. And if you watch back any of my vlogs and stuff, you can see me actually using the Cricut machine. But anyway, going into 2022 then. So this year I actually uploaded a few more Skillshare classes, which if you want to check any out, I'll leave a link below to my Skillshare. I never really promote it anymore because I feel like the classes are quite old. So this was the year my YouTube actually got deleted. I can't quite remember what happened. I think it was something to do with like my Google account. And then suddenly I couldn't log into my YouTube. I was trying to contact YouTube and everything. And I just had to just let it go and make a whole new one, which was really hard because I had actually grown quite nicely on there, and I just hate losing all like content that I've made, you know. Anyway, so this year I also did the odd commissions and children's books from self-publishers that came in. This was the year I also got one of my flamingo designs onto a t-shirt on Shein.com. It was like a one-off payment and I don't get any royalties for that. I just think they offered me about 400 to 500 Australian dollars that I got, and it was pretty cool. But I mean, I don't know, I've actually heard a lot of artists do get ripped off and scammed by Shein. And towards the end of this year as well, a lady reached out to me to do a series of children's books. So that was exciting, and it started off okay, but when she would always tell me that we were going to start a new book, like it would never kind of happen, and it kept on like delaying and delaying, and then when it would come around to her having to pay me, it was just always a bit unreliable, and it just felt like I was getting more stressed with it. So I think overall we did about 3 books. But anyway, moving into 2023 now, I uploaded another Skillshare class this year in January. So that was my last one. This was the year I actually travelled back to the UK 3 times, by the way, all to do with family stuff. I actually lost my grandparents, both of them, in that year. And I don't know if this is like a reason why this year didn't seem that great. I actually lost a lot of motivation to draw. I closed my Patreon like mid-year. I closed my Etsy shop a couple of times, probably because I was going back to the UK and I couldn't run it whilst I was doing that. And at the same time, I kind of kept losing motivation, like, what's the point? Like, I'm not good enough, I wasn't making enough money. But that was the year I did reach 1k subscribers on YouTube, this channel mod, which was pretty cool. So thank you for subscribing. And if you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, definitely subscribe so you can keep up with more videos from me. As my motivation wasn't really there with art anymore, I was almost wondering, like, should I even bother with art overall? Like, is this even for me anymore? By the way, I stopped doing commissions. I think it was of this year. I decided just to stop offering commissions. I didn't want to do them anymore. I started trying to do sketching with pencils and Copic markers. I was kind of doing a little bit of a mix, and I was kind of just focusing on making YouTube videos throughout the year, really. But I noticed how my consistency with posting new art and having that motivation was really starting to slow down. So at the end of that year, I did go and get a full-time job, which I'm still in right now. And by 2024, my art basically just went back to being a hobby. I kind of just didn't even focus on making it a business anymore. I was just done. My whole mindset around making art my business had totally changed, and it was just like a fun hobby. I didn't care as much anymore. I did start to buy a few new things for my studio space, this room here. Got like a new TV monitor, I got some new decor, and also got a new printer. I look back at my journey and it makes me excited of how I used to be, and I'd love to get back to that kind of place again. And I feel like over the whole like 6 years, I've definitely been up and down a lot. Sometimes I overwhelmed myself with way too many things. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. I've tried to just be as honest with everything, the whole journey, as I can. For my next video, I'm going to share a little kind of vision board video. I'm going to share a little bit more about what I have planned for the next year. So definitely stick around for that. Thank you so much for watching today's one. I will see you all next time. Bye!